Hey, it's me, John Kreese. I got a question for you.
What is it? Do you have a question for me? Or do you have a question for the audience?
Bernie, I wasn't talking to you.
Then who could you be talking to? I'm the only one here. I'm the only one who agreed to sign up for Cobra Kai karate lessons. You obviously have a very small clientele. I would like for me to... Currently, I'm 100% of your clientele.
Well, then I guess we should get on with it. Shall we?
Are you saying you would like me to fight? Because I'm not quite the fighter. I'm more of a lover, not a fighter.
Well, Bernie, is it true that you're a hippie, as it were?
I've been known to run in circles where people wear flowers in their hair.
Well, I'm going to put a stop to that. Because here, at Cobra Kai, we like to strike first. Strike hard.
And I do believe that you offer no mercy. I did get a Groupon for your classes. I was told that mercy would be included.
No, there's no mercy here. There's no crying here.
I have a question for you, Sensei. Would you prefer Sensei?
Sure, go ahead. What is your question?
Now, if I'm wearing these mittens when I'm fighting, hello, Escape from Post. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Escape from Post. This is Aristotle Full Throttle. Today we have a special guest. 100% of our guests today will be Koricon Nala.
What were you going to ask me about your mittens?
All right. If I was to use my mittens in a fight, does that count as mercy?
No. You ever play Mercy? When we say no mercy, we mean when you interlock your fingers with a friend and then you try to bend their fingers backwards. We don't offer that.
Well, good thing I wear these mittens, because when you said no mercy, I do believe you're talking about a childhood game where you interlock your fingers with a friend or perhaps a foe, and then you try to bend their fingers backwards.
Correct. Now that you've got those mittens, I'm going to require everyone in Cobra Kai to wear mittens. Because there's no mercy. No mercy.
Now, I'm a little bit confused. I have a question.
You have a lot of questions.
Of course, I'm the senator from Vermont. I have many pertinent questions. When you say no mercy, are you saying no mercy or no merci? Like French. Like no thank you.
You think I'm speaking French?
Well, no merci. Like if someone would you like some of this steak tartare? And I am a vegetarian, I would say, no merci.
I suppose.
Let me. Okay, I have another question.
Go ahead.
When you say strike first, do you mean like a labor strike, like a labor union going on strike because their wages are not sustainable? They don't have a survivable, sustainable minimum wage, a living wage? Hey, alien leader. We're just talking about these rules here. I just want to make sure that I'm clear on these rules here at Cobra Kai.
Well, I haven't thought of it that way. But I suppose you can interpret it that way.
I just want to make sure that now when you say strike hard, there was a movie back in the 90s, maybe in the 80s, called Hard Target. Do you remember this movie?
Of course. I'm well versed in Jean-Claude Van Damme's film catalog.
Yes, Hard Target, directed by John Woo. Now, in that movie, his name was Chance.
Why was his name Chance?
Because in that movie he said, because my mama took one.
Hi! I'm Aristotle Full Throttle. What you just witnessed, Pegster 1994, should never be uttered to anyone else. No one else should ever know what goes on here. Just us. Just us. Because what we like to do here is justice. We like to bring justice to just us. None of this makes sense. Hopefully, you've got your favorite beverage of choice right now. That you're crawling up on the couch, pulling the blanket up around your neck, and you're warm, toasty by the fire. I almost passed out. You're right. I did almost pass out. There was so much. I was laughing so hard. It was a good joke. Because my mama took wine. That's what he says. Hey, Ange. Remember that movie when Jean-Claude Van Damme was? I call him John. Jean-Claude Van Damme. He was like this. He was supposed to be a Cajun American. Remember that? I guess because he's Belgian, so they speak French, right? So they speak Belgian French. They speak French. Ron Perty, I will try not to pass out, but if I do pass out, there's one green light. That's okay. But if I do pass out, somebody catch me. Today's special guest is Koricon Nala. He is running a little bit. Well, he told me he couldn't make it until about after 6 his time, which is 6 somewhere always, twice. So he's gonna be here any minute now. He's gonna call in. He's gonna say hello. He's good to talk. We're gonna chat it up. We're gonna talk about nerdy stuff. But yeah, Jimmy Claude Van Damme. I call him Jean-Claude Van Damme. So Jean-Claude Van Damme was in that movie, and he said he was French from the French Quarter, and he was like in the movie Hard Target. There was a really cool stunt in that movie where he like jumps in the air, and then he jumps over the car. And then he like does like a roll and a flip, and then he like lands on his feet and then turns around and then starts shooting at the car. I thought that was pretty cool. I tried that once, I died. I don't want to do that again. So I can't wait to talk to Koricon Nala. He was my guest. You might notice that I'm like looking around, because I'm looking around because I do have a remote, because that one green light is making me freak out a little bit. I don't like it. Everything needs to be the same. We're just gonna deal with it. I gotta change it. Hold up. Where's my remote? I found that I put the remote next to the lights, where I'm like, wait, why would I use a remote next to the light? Here, I know I have the remote around here somewhere. I know I have it. There's a remote here somewhere. I'll be right back. You're gonna talk to the rock biter, and I'm gonna fix that light because it's too much. It's out of place. Yeah, but Jean-Claude Van Damme did that jump and a flip, and he landed. And rock biter, what do you got to say about this? Hey.
Wow, man. You really uptight about that light. You need to chill out. You need to relax, man. Come on, man. Some lights are green, some lights are blue. Hopefully you got green lights all day long. You know, you got red, yellow, green lights when you're driving on the highway. You ever remember that movie, Life? You know that song, Life is a Highway? What you trying to say, Ed? My dead eyes. I'm just, listen. I had a little bit of obsidian before we got on the air today. So maybe I'm like, imagine I'm out in space, man. I'm like tripping out over here. I had some bad obsidian. It had like a fungus growing on it. Now I've got some crazy hallucinations going on here, man. But remember that song, Life is a Highway? Life is a highway. I wanna drive it all night long. Until I guess you want to drive it all night long for like the rest of your life. So thanks to 1994. That's why if you come to this show, it lends itself to that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that if you watch this show with your favorite beverage or tincture or whatever, I'm sure it would aid in the comedy. This is just a theory of mine. I've been around 500 million years, man. And, life is a highway. I want to ride it all night long. Yeah, I want to drive it. If you were to drive the highway, first of all, the conditions of the roads in America are abysmal. We need to spend more time building on the infrastructure and making sure that the asphalt is continually repaved. Asphalt, man. If the asphalt's broken, that's your own asphalt.
He ain't lying. Oh, look! It's blue. Dr. Bernie Fauci. Yeah. Dr. Bernie Fauci. Sorry, my voice is up here. It's a little bit up there. It's a little bit raspier. I sound more like a Long Island high school teacher than Bernie Sanders, who's from Brooklyn.
Who's the senator from Vermont?
That's my impression of Dr. Bernie Sanders. We're both from a similar area. I'm from the Queens, but I've got a little bit more of a, like I would say, area, and Dr. Bernie Fauci would say area. You see, there's a difference. There's definitely a difference. If you're from New York, you can tell the difference. There's a nuance. There's a nuance to the sound. I would like for you to get your booster shots, okay? Get your baby booster shots. Yeah. Well, any moment now, we'll be joined by our friend, Koricon Nala, Maddie Madness. Hey, Cap Blue Chart, welcome. I'm so glad you're all here. The gang's all here. We're ready to go. We're off to the races, guys. Watch it go back to green. Yeah, I'll tell you, if that light goes back to green, it's possessed. It'll be possessed by demons and gremlins. There are gremlins inside my lights. I found out, speaking of gremlins, get your booster seat. Who are you, Donald Trump? You need a booster seat? I saw a very funny meme today. It was Obama and Biden kind of sitting next to each other laughing. And it was, and Trump, a little baby Trump riding like a tricycle, and they were laughing, and then they were like, "Why is he so happy?" And then they were like, "Oh, we told him he was still president. We let him believe that he's still president." I feel like Trump right now is eating a bunch of Big Macs, laying on a bed, saying, "I would like for my best friend Putin to be here." I figured out how to play Superman on this thing. I'll do that later. That'll be the grand reveal. So yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. There should be things that we do every show. The show's almost a year in the making, maybe 9 months. And maybe, just maybe, we should have like things that we do every show. Like maybe I eat an onion. I'll eat a whole onion. I don't want to be exploited in that way. Go with the fro. Oh, you got your Go with the Fro tee. That's awesome. I was going to wear that earlier today, actually. I wore the Aristotle one instead. But if you guys want to get your own Go with the Fro tee, just go to the Teespring. There's a link here on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, you can see it. I suggest you do. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, you can go to Patreon. Pledge $1 a month. $1 a month. I ran out of coffee today. So, you need that coffee. And that $1 a month can buy me 1/3 of one coffee, and I would appreciate that. Thank you. It would also help keep the lights on. It'll help keep that light blue. If you want to make sure that that light stays blue, be sure to do that. Also, if you want to subscribe on Twitch, it's only $3 a month. That's actually a pretty good deal, because then you get all of the exclusive hangouts. You get to watch all the replays. You get to hang out. What do you get, I guess? We got to find out get something for that. Oh, I turned the heat up. It's getting hot in here. I'm going to start sweating. But these are all things you can do. I'm giving away a PS5, so remember to subscribe. If you subscribe on Twitch, if you subscribe even on YouTube, once I get to 10,000 subscribers, you can win a PS5. How crazy is that? You will win a PS5. And by the time they're widely available, that's probably when I'll get the PS6 will be coming out by the time we get to 10,000 subscribers. But we can do it, guys. We can do it. We can do it. I've got mallets. And mallets with no malice. Here, hold on a second. I've got to turn the heat off. I'll be right back. I'm up and down all over the place today. It's great. I'm doing calisthenics. I'm doing squat thrusts. Bro with the fro, that's me. Hey, welcome. Welcome, Ghost of Christmas Future. Uh-oh, Ghost of Christmas Future, I have a question for you. What am I going to get this Christmas? Ghost of Christmas Future, will a kid be showing up at my door with a dead goose? Ghost of Christmas Future, what color will this light be? You don't know. No one knows. Hang on a second. Let me check in with Koricon, see where he's at. But guys, how was your day? What are you up to? I know that it's snowing in Rhode Island, so you've got to light a fire. You've got to start a fire. I know that, hey, Real Ron Perty. I have a question for you, Real Ron Perty. Why do I have to keep signing into my Facebook for the first time every time I go to Facebook? I don't know. So I guess I won't know what's going on with Koricon. I just told him to call in when he's ready. So. It's what now, where? I'm watching the Fro King and painting 2 paintings at the same time. You're painting 2 paintings at the same time, Cat Blue Chart? Now, Cat Blue Chart, as you know, is a regular on the Aristotle Full Throttle show. She's a regular viewer. She's a painter. She makes paintings. I suggest you go follow her on Instagram at KATBLOUCHART. Go find her on there. She's painting. So now I have a question for you. Now, when you're painting 2 paintings at once, do you have a paintbrush in each hand? And do you go like this? Is this how you do it? How do you paint 2 things at once? 2 paintings at once? Is one like a zebra and the other one, I don't know, outer space? How do you do that? I'm very curious and concerned, actually. Is it like 2 separate parts? Do you cross over the 2 hands? There's so many different possibilities. There's similar paintings. Yeah, here's a trick. Put 2 brushes in one hand like this, and then just go like that. What do you say? Or, how about this, while they're still wet, well, one is still wet, just smash it up against the... We're creatively problem solving here today on Aristotle Full Throttle. You take one painting while it's still wet, and you press it against the other painting, and then you peel it away, and then you have 2 paintings. The weather's weird here. Ange is in New Orleans. Ange, did you have any turtle soup today? If so, why not? It doesn't make any sense. Just don't try to think about it too much. I'm an art forger. That's... I actually saw a really cool 60 Minutes, maybe, I think it was, on an art forger. Art forgery is a real thing. A lot of people own what they think is an original Picasso, what they think is an original say Van Gogh. That's how you say it, Van Gogh. It's true, Van Gogh. So some people think they own an original, but they're really just owning a fake one. There's a fake one. Some museums have fakes, but it's because these forgers are so good at just mimicking styles of painters. Sometimes they'll create a painting in the style. There's a really super famous guy who's got like hundreds of millions of dollars because he's made forgeries over his life and has never he hasn't been caught, so he's like gets to keep the money. You know what I mean? Because he's like, I can't tell you which ones are my forgeries, but I've made millions of dollars. And it's kind of crazy. So this dude will paint now in the style of a painter and not exactly the painting, which is kind of crazy. You're painting one and your cat is painting the other. That is also a good one. And also your name is Cat, so who knows which one's which, right? Art forgery is so real. Yeah, the art forgery struggle is real if you're on the struggling end of that. But if you're thriving, I don't know. I don't suggest you do art forgeries. I suggest you just do art. But how does anybody? I don't know. Everybody needs art. We need art in our lives, and that's why I bring you this show, so that you can get introduced to Cat Blue Chart and follow her and other artists and other creative people. That's what we do here. We like to be silly, goofy, creative. And unlike art forgers, we like to be original. Sorta, I guess. I mean, I don't know. What's original? Is there any original idea anymore? How do you become a famous painter? I would like to know. There are let me see if he's there. I would like to know. I mean, it seems very difficult. It seems extraordinarily difficult these days to become a famous painter just on the merits of your painting. I know I was talking to someone who deals with art trading, art dealing, and then they said that's really difficult. You need to go to UCLA and major in fine arts and then just hang out with the right people after that and just become a portrait artist otherwise. But painting is awesome. It's fun. I love to do it myself. I plan on retiring as a painter. All my paintings will include stormtroopers and Darth Vaders. And maybe 1 or 2 Kylo Rens. Or 3. Originality is dead. The key is in all arts. That is the key in all arts, yes. You gotta hang out with the right people. You gotta know people. That's what I'm learning. That's what I've learned. It's the people who you know. And you know, we talk about that. We talk about nepotism, especially in film and television, when people go, oh, well, you're just in this movie. For instance, when a child actor, the son of a famous person, auditions for a movie, and they're like, well, I had to go through the whole audition process and everything. Like, a lot of times, they go through the audition process for a movie. Everybody's, you gotta do something. Well, not always. But the funny thing is, like, say Will Smith is in a movie with Jaden Smith, and they're like, we had Jaden, just because I'm Will Smith and I'm ultra famous, we still put, we still put him through the audition process, and we made sure that that he was, I can't do a Will Smith yet. I'll work on it. He's always excited. But it's like, did they really? You know what I mean? Like, that happens with a lot of celebrity kids. For instance, when I was watching this interview with this actor who's the son of a very famous person, and he was like, well, I still went through the audition process. This is my first movie. This is my first film. And I'm like, yeah, but are the producers really gonna turn down the name Hanks on the marquee? You know what I'm saying. I'm talking about Colin Hanks in Orange County. But he's good. He turned out to be good 10, 15 years later. He looks and sounds exactly like his dad now. He's like, there's a snake in my boot. I got a story about a Hanks. I met a Hanks. Let me tell you about this story about a Hanks. I kind of gave away the ending of the story already, but this story, I was at a party. I was on a date. This is 8 years ago. I was on this date with this woman, and we were at a party. And she's like, these are my good friends. And we were hanging out. It was a really cool party, too. Really cool. There were like so many creative people. And this is where I first learned in Los Angeles how to say you work for Disney. Because so many people who work for Disney, every single person I've met who works for Disney, meaning in animation and whatever department you work for Disney, at the theme parks, whatever, people go like this. I work for Disney. I'm not joking. I mean, I am. I mean, it's funny, but I'm not joking. What do you say? It's like, oh, so what do you do? I work for Disney. I don't know. I don't understand why. But I guess it's exciting to work for Disney. Or they tell you in your contract you got to be chipper and cheery. What do you do? I work for Disney. It's so weird. So I went to this party. You know what I'm talking about, Escape from Post. You live here. You've seen this. You see people go, I work for Disney. It's like you have to say it. It's like there's somebody always lurking around the corner, like Slugworth, making sure you say it right. So I'm just saying, I work for Disney. So I'm at this party, and a lot of people work for Disney at this party. And they were playing music, and they were singing original songs. I actually noticed, I was sitting on the couch, and they were playing this original song, and the original song lasted like way too many verses. Sometimes when you write an original song, don't have 16 verses, because it takes, you're like, oh, that was really clever, that was great. Oh, there's another verse. Okay. All right, that was great. Let's wrap this one up. Oh, there's 14 more verses to go. Okay. Oh, these are all equally clever, but I suggest you edit. All the verses, I mean. So I'm at this party, and I'm hanging out with Jim and his wife, and my date. And my date is best friends with Jim. Jim and my date are best friends. I will answer this call in 1 second. I just want to finish this story. So I'm hanging out with Jim and his wife, and Jim's wife works at the Aquarium of the Pacific, and she does this underwater stuff, and she does all this really cool stuff. She's like does diving, and she does this instruction on how to do diving and all this, or she talks about the marine lives. And I'm talking to Jim. We're getting on all night long, just chatting, and then there was a moment where I turn around. And I was turning around. I was talking to my date at the time, and then I hear Tom Hanks's voice. I heard Tom Hanks's voice, and I turn around, and I look at Jim, and there's light on his face, and he looks exactly like Tom Hanks. He looks and sounds exactly like Tom Hanks. And I'm like, okay, but he's bald. He's got a bald head. Now you can Google this. So we're hanging out for like 2 more hours, just chatting it up. And then we leave. And then I'm like, so, you didn't tell me your best friend was Tom Hanks' brother. Because he has to be. My brain deduced that this guy is related to Tom Hanks. And she goes, oh yeah, Jim Hanks. I was like, yeah, Jim Hanks. So, hung out with Jim Hanks for a night. I learned about Jim Hanks afterward. It turns out Jim Hanks does all of the voices for Woody from Toy Story, for like the games, for the short films, for the commercials, for like Tom Hanks, the nicest guy in Hollywood, hooked up his brother Jim Hanks, who looks and sounds very much like him, sounds exactly like him. He hooked up his brother with all of the additional voice work so that Tom Hanks don't got to do it. Tom Hanks' brother does it, which gave him a career, which is pretty freaking cool. So again, nepotism. Hanks is the name I'll remember. So that's the story for the most part. I just find it funny I also know something else about Tom Hanks I heard through the grapevine here in Los Angeles. Tom Hanks has a guy. Now, Tom Hanks is the nicest guy in the world, and he maintains that reputation in the most ingenious way possible, which is he's got a guy. Now, when I say that he's got a guy, there's a guy that Tom Hanks got that will tell you the bad news. So if you're in wardrobe or if you're in the makeup department on a movie and you show like, hey, Tom, what do you think about this? And then they go, what do you think about this? Tom Hanks is like, I love it. It's great. Then in come the guy, right? Then he goes and talks to the guy. And then the guy's like, no, that's not going to work. No, we're not doing that. Tom Hanks has got the guy. Tom Hanks has got a bad news guy. You heard it here first. So he's always the nicest guy in the world because he's got a bad news guy. It's great. All right. Koricon, I would like to introduce my guest, my first and one and only guest today. All right. Come on over, Koricon. Welcome to the show. Here, it's going to take a second. I'm going to... Hey, 1 second. Hey, buddy. Can you hear me? Awesome. I'm going to put in my earphones. I'm going to put you on the screen. Hold on 1 second. I got to find the word that says the thing that I'm looking for, which is the word Skype. I have to employ my reading skills now. There it is. Awesome. Hey, man. How are you? Yes, I would like to. Oh no! Wait, they can't hear you. Wait, hold on a second. You can't hear him. Is it low or is it they can't hear him? Uh-oh. No audio. All right, here. Let's try this. I can hear you, which is strange, because I could definitely hear you. Zero audio. Okay, let me check to see what to do here. This is the fun part about the show. Yeah, it's Top Gun. All right, let's see. Just reenact the Top Gun beach volleyball scene while I try to figure this out. All right. You guys are at home. If you can't hear it, you're missing comedy gold. Let me monitor off, monitor output. No. Let's check something here. Mute output. Wait, now say something. Can you?
I am the most awesome person alive.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the most awesome person alive. He was got the greatest quaff ever.
Oh yeah, here's the quaff.
Yes, please reveal the quaff. At least
it's very bedheady though right now. Like,
okay, cool. We got you. We can hear you now. Awesome. The bedhead look is quite good though. Listen, first of all, I would just like to congratulate you on your amazing head of hair.
Thank you.
Look at this head of hair, ladies and gentlemen. It's unparalleled. Even with the... What's that?
Yeah, and my girlfriend has convinced me that I'm going to grow it out.
Well, there you go. That's...
And the last time I grew out my hair, I made a lot of women jealous because I have a natural wave. Yeah. So like you got the curls, you got the fro, you got that great stuff going on.
Some would say I have a natural wave.
But mine, I used to have my hair at my shoulders, and it would do this. It'll go up a little bit and then come down and flow like this onto my shoulder.
Oh.
And it's So it looked like it would make Fabio's hair look bad.
That's pretty amazing. And when you said, your girlfriend was like, you got to grow your hair long. Say no more. I had a high school gym teacher, which is hilarious, that said this. It was very funny. It was inappropriate at the time, but he mentioned to us that his wife, he was growing his hair out, much like you are, and he was like doing roll call, and he's calling our names, and someone asked him, "Why are you growing your hair long?" He says, "Because my wife said that she would triple the sexual favors." 0.
I just have long hair now.
He just kept reading the names. It was incredible. So
that's awesome.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. It's been a minute, hasn't it?
It's been a couple minutes, actually. So I'm glad that you're back here. Oh yeah, guys, on Instagram, you can't hear him. Here's this trick. If you can go to Twitch, you can hear him. Or YouTube. Aristotle Full Throttle on YouTube. Or...
So what's up with Instagram?
Instagram, if you want to call in on Instagram as well, or join the feed on Instagram, you can be... The people on Instagram can also hear you there. Do you have a phone nearby?
Yeah, but I don't think I have Instagram anymore. I dropped that a long time ago. I haven't been on it in like a year.
That's fair enough. Instagram seems to be going the way of the MySpace.
Well, I can download it, and at some point we can do that in the future, but
yeah,
I wouldn't even know where to start, right? Like, I don't want to sit here for half an hour trying to figure out how to get into my old Instagram account.
That's true. Yeah. Well, Escape from Post, one of our viewers and former and an actual guest, a regular, has mentioned that he can show me how to patch in the Instagram. Instagram is high maintenance. It's too much. It's too much to keep up with.
The only thing I ever did with Instagram was I would upload my pictures when I was doing photography.
Right.
And then I would just copy my tweet. Like I didn't really do anything else with it.
I feel like
I never.
Yeah, I definitely feel like every platform has its own wrinkle. So there's so many that you're just like they're more intuitive than others, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whenever I did do live streams, it was usually always on YouTube, but I would do the simulcast like you are with Twitch and maybe Facebook or something.
Right.
But for the most part, I just went live on YouTube.
Well, how
on Twitch
have you been going live lately? So Koricon Nala is a movie critic, a movie fan, particularly the South Asian films.
Yeah, I had 2 channels. One which was Koricon Nala. That one was mostly Indian movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had that second channel for a while that was just American stuff. Regular Hollywood movie reviews.
Regular, boring old Hollywood.
Yeah, regular, boring old Hollywood. And, but it was the Indian channel that, I had fans. Like, people freaked out. Especially for that first review where I reviewed Bahubali. Mm-hmm. Which, you can't see it here, but I got a poster for Bahubali 2 right here on the wall. But at the time, all of the reactors were reacting to the trailer for Bahubali, but no one was actually watching the movie.
Right.
And I saw the trailer and I was blown away. I'm like, the cinematography is amazing. Like this cinematographer is better than half the Hollywood movies.
It's kind of crazy how good the movies are that people are able to make because of the availability of affordable software. Let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whoever their cinematographer was, and I can't remember his name, but damn. So I watched the movie and reviewed it, and I was the only American reactor to actually review the movie. Where I was the first one.
Right.
And so I got this huge flood. I got like 1,000 subs a week. Like
That's
it was
awesome.
like, and I was small. I was like at 500 or something. And all of a sudden I'm getting like thousands and thousands of something. Like, what the heck is going on? And then someone pointed out, they were like, you're the only one that watched the movie. So, and then right after that, I think it was like within a week or a couple of days, there were a bunch of other reviews for it. I just happened to be the first one in that reactor circle.
Right.
And so I got lucky. And then I got lucky again with Kabali. It was a Rajnikanth film. They did a trailer. Everybody reacted to the trailer. I reacted to the trailer. And this was also kind of early on. I put up my reaction to the trailer, but I forgot to talk about the music. And in Indian movies, music is very important.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so I made another video just really quick. Like I was almost falling asleep. I didn't have the picture-in-picture. I just turned on the trailer so you could hear the music. And I was dancing to the music on the video and stuff. And then I uploaded that as a second video. Be like, I'm sorry I forgot to talk about the music, but I loved the song. Well, the trailer got flagged. And so every reaction to the trailer was getting blocked.
Right.
So whenever people were searching for their new Rajnikanth trailer and they searched for Kabali reaction, the only video that you could see were videos that just went up and wasn't taken down yet. Or my second video where I'm dancing like a fool to the music, and that's it. And it ended up getting something like 250,000 views.
That's amazing.
And still, I think it's sitting at like 265,000 views.
That's great. We've got a couple questions here. Koricon, do you know Jabi Kowe? Jabi Kowe?
I actually interviewed Jabi Kowe. So if you go to my channel, you can watch me interview Jabi Kowe.
That's awesome. Now, who is Jabi Kowe?
He would be the highest subscriber count for Indian movie reactions and reviews.
Oh, that's awesome. So
he's over. He's like near. I think he's like over 1 million something. I don't remember, like 1.5 or something like that.
That's really cool. When did you interview him?
It was right before I had to stop doing videos because I had a baby. Well, I didn't have a baby. My girlfriend had a baby, but
congratulations to you both.
Thank you. But we have a baby, and then she's got 2 boys that are 6 and 4 from her previous marriage, and so we have a lot of juggling going around with kids. Yeah. And then I had to get a better job, so I work for IBM right now. And
that's pretty good.
So I work all day troubleshooting computers, and then I have got to go take care of babies at night, and then by the time they go to bed, I'm like, I have no energy to sit here and be like, yeah, let's go watch this thing. I'll be like, no, I'm going to bed. I'm out.
You're dadding. That's
yeah, I'm dadding. But that's awesome. I do want to get to a point where I can like do more videos of things like maybe a live stream, like that's why I messaged you, you know?
Yeah.
Also with my friend Matt Kohler, he's he works with Red Fist Productions. He's one of the co-founders for Red Fist Productions. They do Batman Master of Fear.
Nice.
Online channel, and they've got some short films coming out, and he's starting a podcast, and so we want to get to a point where we can do like a weekly like live stream podcast thing.
Yeah. I mean, you're good at it. Your channel's great. You guys should check out his channel. If it's still, I mean, I know that you've stepped away for a minute, but there are still videos on there.
Yeah, all the videos are up there. I mean, I interviewed, for people that like Indian stuff, I interviewed Madhavan for his Amazon show Breathe, which actually Madhavan messaged me and bought me a 1-year Amazon Prime account so that I could review the show. Because in my trailer reaction, I complained about having to buy all of these different. I'm like, I can't afford Netflix and Prime and HBO and whatever else. Like, I can't afford that. And he saw my reaction and retweeted it. And then in his retweet said, I'd be happy to buy your Prime account so you could watch the show. And then sure enough, Amazon called me and said, here's your Prime account.
That's awesome. There you go. A full year. Are you frozen?
On, and then the other main actor, Amit Saad. I have another interview with
the audio is choppy.
During the
just go back a second.
Am I glitching out?
It's glitching a little bit. Are you hardlined or are you Wi-Fi?
Oh, I'm Wi-Fi because I put my hard line in my work computer.
Oh, okay. It changed my life. I patched the Ethernet cable in that Jake and Jen so generously donated to the show. So now I'm like I've got a solid line. Escape Repose says, Jabby is a good friend and my literal next door neighbor. That's cool.
Oh well, tell him hi. Tell him hi. He'll remember me. It's not like I talked with him all the time.
Right.
But I did do an interview with him, and he knows who I am. Yeah, just let him know Koricon was on Aristotle and said hello. Hey, Jabby, how's it going, bro?
Yes.
He's a nice guy. That's like awesome. Jabby. But yeah, he should remember me. I'm the big, hairy, chubby white dude that does Indian movies. Like,
I feel like it's a very small
my channel felt weird.
Niche.
Yeah, it is. And it's weird because I just fell into it by accident.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like I was going to try and do Indian movies.
Right.
I was just doing, if you watch the beginning of my channel, it was all American stuff.
Yeah.
But then I was like reacting to everything, sports clips and silly videos and just anything. So if anyone sent me a request, I would do a reaction for it.
Right.
And someone sent me the Bahubali trailer and asked me to react to it. And then all of a sudden it just snowballed from there.
That's great. Yeah.
But I think Jabby was the same way. You know, it's not like he was trying to do Indian movies.
Yeah.
I think someone just asked him to react to a trailer. And I don't remember what his first Indian trailer was, but then it just snowballed. You know, and he has some great videos that I like where he went on a trip, actually got to go to India. That would have been fun. I would have liked doing that. But the thing is, if I'm going to go to India, I can't just go to like one spot. You know, it's like going to the United States. It's a huge plot of land with a lot of cities.
Yeah.
And it's like in the U.S., everything is different. You know, you got Bangalore, you've got the Tamil in the south, you've got the Hindi in the north.
It looks like Jabby Koei is here, actually, by the way. In the that's hilarious.
And not that.
Did you hear that? Jabby Koei is actually on YouTube right now, watching on YouTube. Hello, Jabby Koei. We were just speaking of you, and you appeared like Mephistopheles. I think that's how it goes. The glitches are happening. Oh no, the glitches. So while it's glitching, someone asked how we met. We actually met. Yeah, my internet connection seems. It might be. Yeah, glitchy. Well, the way we met was on the.
Okay.
I do believe I posted a video. How did we meet? We met on YouTube. I posted a video, and I believe you were one of like the first 5 subscribers to my channel. It might have been the first 5 or 10 or something.
Yeah, I don't remember which video it was, but I was basically watching other reactors react to the same thing that I had posted. Like, I think it was for one of the Star Wars movies or something.
Right.
Like a trailer for Star Wars. Maybe it was Force Awakens. I don't remember. But
yeah, or Rogue One or something.
Yeah, something like that. And so I did a reaction video, and so I was curious to see what the others reactors did. You know, did they think the same thing I did? And I watched like almost all of them. You know, I just for like a couple of hours, I was just going through all these different reactors, and I'm like, nah, this one sucks. No, this one sucks. This one sucks. But then I got to your video, and I was like, this dude's awesome. He's hilarious. I love it. and so I hit subscribe.
Oh, awesome.
And yeah, I was like one of the first 10. I think I was like number 8. Your 8th subscriber.
You're the OG throttler. That's awesome. I'm so grateful that you went through hundreds, because you otherwise would not have found me buried underneath that stack of YouTube algorithm.
Well, you were just beginning as well.
Yes.
So, you know, but like I still have your sticker.
Oh, there it is. That's right.
On Deadpool's face.
Let me move this. That's pretty fantastic. There you go.
Because I remember you made that video where you were handing out the stickers. I think it was for your 3,000 subscriber special or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, can't remember exactly what you said. Oh, something like, it was for best comments on a video.
Yes.
And you said, even if you comment hello.
Yeah.
And so all I said was hello.
Yeah.
But I had already known you by then. And so you were like I could feel you roll your eyes. You're like, damn it, Matt. You couldn't say anything more than just hello. But I was like, tee hello.
I'm definitely thankful and grateful for anybody who puts the effort in to like or just say hello. That's good. That's good.
I could have said a lot more, but I just thought it was funny because you had said even if you just say hello, and I'm like, oh, I know him. This is gonna be funny. And then that's how I knew that we would get along, because we have like a very similar sense of humor.
Indeed, that was it. Yes, that was perfect. Speaking of Star Wars, now there's been some Star Warses since we've
Mando,
spoken.
Man.
Yeah, Mando.
Woo.
It's pretty great. I like it. I like it a lot.
I never expected Bill Burr to be in Star Wars.
I know. It's such a good
and he
flavor.
does a great job.
Yeah.
Did you see The King of Staten Island with Pete Davidson?
I've not seen that. Hey, what do you say? You want to tell us about that? Sorry, Bill Burr just appeared.
But yeah, Bill Burr plays basically. So
Pete Davidson's step or mama's boyfriend.
Yeah. Boyfriend. Yeah.
Yeah.
And his mom is Marissa Tomei.
Right.
And I didn't know any of these people were in the movie because I didn't research it before I watched it. But I got HBO Max.
Yeah,
I was like, well, might as
well go Max.
So I got the HBO Max, and because I wanted to watch Wonder Woman 84. So they hooked me on that, even though I was kind of disappointed with the movie.
Right.
But King of Staten Island was on there, and I watched it a couple of days ago.
Is it still on there?
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, that's who's his name? The 40-year-old virgin Anchorman director. Judd Apatow. That's it.
Yeah, he directed it. But what surprised me is you got Pete Davidson who's like an SNL stand-up comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Burr, who's a stand-up comedian. And Marissa Tomei, who's like an Academy Award-winning actress. And all three of them kill it.
Yeah.
Like there's some scenes that just have Pete Davidson and Bill Burr talking to each other. And they're acting and tension that's going on in that scene.
Yes.
I was like, what? How are two stand-up comedians, either Judd Apatow's an amazing director and told him what to do, or they're both really good and underappreciated, and they're going to get a lot of offers, I bet you. I bet you're going to see Bill Burr in a lot of stuff in the future.
Well, I was really impressed with Bill Burr in The Mandalorian, especially in that scene when he's talking to the Imperial officer, Joe Cool.
Oh yeah,
Joe Cool, the Imperial officer, and he was that was intense. I
felt that tension.
Yeah, it was great.
I felt that tension.
And that was also a credit to the director. He said maybe it's Judd Apatow, maybe it's them. It's a little bit of it's a alchemy. I mean, a good director can get stuff out of people. Particularly, I think comedians, as long as they're honest, as long as you're being honest in the moment. A good director knows how to harness that, and I think it was the director's name for that episode with Bill Burr, Fuqua.
Antoine Fuqua?
Is it Antoine Fuqua?
Was it?
Fuqua. Fukushima? No.
No. I can't remember.
If anybody knows in the audience who's watching right now which director it was, yeah. He is quite good, and he's a guy to keep an eye on.
Well, if it is Anton Fuqua, I mean, he's the guy that did some of the Denzel movies.
It was not him.
Okay.
It's another black dude. I was thinking of the wrong guy.
Well, Robert Rodriguez
Rick
directed one.
Right.
Oh. Well, my girlfriend and my brother both agree. They pointed out that, when you're doing a stand-up comedy, you've got to write the joke. You've got to learn the lines. You've got to be comfortable on stage. And you are playing a character, even though most of the time it's you talking about your stories. And so you're halfway to acting. And then you've got a lot of great stand-ups that ended up becoming good actors like Jim Carrey and Robin Williams, So I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Burr can become the next one. If he takes the offers. Like I know he's an old school stand-up dude. He's been doing it for over 20 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants to go into movies.
And if you're a fan of his stand-up, like I'm a huge fan of his stand-up, he's constantly doing characters the whole time. He's like, he'll like just fully become different people while he's doing his...
One of my favorites is when he's talking about, he goes to, it was when he was first started to date his wife, and his wife lived in Harlem. And he's talking about having to go to Harlem at 3:30 in the morning because she called him, and he's like, my brain's telling me I can't do it. He's like, she lives in Harlem. I look how I look. It's a situation. and he's like, the deal. If you're at like 98, 99th Street, you're fine, but once it gets into the triple digit, you start getting asthma, and you're like, let's get a little high up here. He's like, where's all the taxis? What's the bodega? Like, but yeah, he plays those kind of characters in his stand-up.
He's great. Yeah, he's definitely got a performative way about him, and he was on Breaking Bad. He was great on Breaking Bad. He had pretty intense monologues on that show. He had a couple of good monologues on that show.
That's true.
Yeah.
I need to go and see what else he's been in. Because between King of Staten Island and Mando, because he killed both of those, and he killed them this year. Or in the past, at least the past 6 months.
Yeah, I think he's doing a little career shift. I think he's taking more work as an actor, which is really cool. Escape from Post reminds us that Rick Famuyiwa did Dope, which is
okay.
I did not mean to confuse him with Antoine Fuqua, but the problem is there's such a dearth, as it were, of black directors that, I feel like, if there were more.
Oh, and that guy directed one in the first season too,
or at least prominent black directors. There's just as many. They're just not getting the work as.
Yeah, I think he directed one of the episodes in the first season also. Because have you seen the behind the scenes documentary thing that they got? It's called I think it's called Star Wars, or it's called Mandalorian Gallery or something like that. It's on Disney Plus. They've got they got the documentary, and they talk about they have a round table with the directors, which was for one of the episodes, which was great. I loved hearing about that.
That was my favorite episode. My favorite episodes. And I talked about this a couple times. It's the funny thing is when I'm watching the episodes, I love the effects ones. I love when they're showing how the volume stage works. The volume, which is so genius. It's such a great idea.
My gosh,
it's so great. And I love those episodes. But then they go to the actors, and I feel like the actors are the last people to know anything. And I say that as an actor. I say that as someone, we like
you kind of walk. Yeah, you walk up on set and you're like, oh, I guess this is what's happening.
Yeah, they're like, here's the makeup, here's the costume, here's the thing, and then the actors gotta be trying to feel special by going, well, I think he maybe has a lip twitch. That's my character, and then
you've got Jon Favreau saying, "Here, stand in this room made of LED TVs and just act."
Yeah, just
do your scene.
Say the words that someone else wrote for you. I rag on actors because, listen, I've been there. I've seen what it does.
You've done commercials.
I've done commercials. I've done things that involve acting, and here's the worst part, though. I've been on set where an actor, not I'll be on set in a different capacity, like a set photographer, and I'll be watching an actor deliver an amazingly hilarious scene because they're in the scene and they're joking and they're doing all of the things that are written on the page and they're interpreting it and doing it awesomely. And then as soon as they yell cut, they kind of sometimes will want to say something funny, just to kind of keep the vibe going. But that's when the joke comes out of their head, and it's just not funny. It's I've seen this happen so many times where I'm just read what the funny person wrote for you to say. Don't try to be funny when the camera's not rolling. Do not try to say funny things, because you don't know the funny things. The writer knows the funny things. So
yeah, it's it kind of feels like your dad when he hears a joke and then tells you a joke, and you're like, all right, Dad, so this joke we just heard from the professional comedian guy, that one was funny.
Right.
But the joke you just said, that is so much of a dad joke.
Yes, exactly.
However, with my dad, he'll laugh at himself so hard over the dad joke that you can't help but laugh at it.
That's
you get involved. You're like, no, it's not that. It's not funny. It's a bad joke, Dad. And he's laughing his ass up. You're like, all right, fine.
It just starts to take over. Escape from Post reminds us that Rick also appears in the first season. I remember as an X-Wing pilot in the Prison Breakout episode. Yes.
Same with that was the same scene that also had Filoni. Yes. Yep. And then Filoni, I love the talk in the gallery episode when they were talking to the directors and producers and stuff. And Filoni was like, I didn't want to do it. He was hoping that the shoot that he was on would go longer so he could avoid going and shooting the scene. And he was like, maybe I can call in.
Oh, he's having anxiety about it. That's hilarious.
Yeah. He's like, I didn't want to do it.
And then he did it again. I think he was in season 2 also as an X-Wing pilot. or was
Yeah.
yeah.
He broke his virginity on the first season, and now he's like, okay, I can just do it. It's fine.
He got bit by the bug. But I do love the director episode of the gallery for Mandalorian because the directors are the ones with the vision. They're the ones with like the whole idea. And
so,
yeah.
Yeah. Are they going to do another season of that gallery where we get to have a round table with the directors from the new season? Because I want to see Robert Rodriguez and hear what he's talking about, because he's going to be taking over the Boba Fett show.
Well, here's the thing. They do have a 1 hour, Ricky reminds us that there's a season 2, there's a 1 hour documentary, which I watched. It came out on Christmas Day, I think. It's just not as encompassing, but they do interview all of the cast and they touch upon all of the things. But I really did like the full on in-depth discussions. Like my favorite ones were the music, the effects, and the directors. I think.
Oh, and the guy that does the music,
Ludwig, yeah, Göransson, he's amazing.
Well, I was just watching behind the scenes for what was it? Me and my Tenet. He did the music for Tenet.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, he's gonna get all the work forever from now on.
I know, like, and my brother was like, "What? I need to buy the album." So we both work from home. I do computer troubleshooting at IBM, and my brother works for a company doing like data entry stuff, right? And so he downloaded the entire album for Tenet, and he was like just listening to it on cycle.
Yeah.
While he works. And he's like, man, it makes me like I'm so pumped.
Well, you gotta remember, like, he's an incredible, also popular musician. He co-wrote the song Redbone and a lot of songs with Childish Gambino.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't know that.
He's playing the music on there too. He's sitting there. He's like, boom, 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 the music for Get Out, which was the soundtrack song. Yeah. So he's great.
He's a very gifted musician, because I've always been jealous of musicians in general. Like I played the violin when I was in elementary school. I did piano for a little bit, actually had a recital. I played guitar for maybe a year. And then when we moved out here to Colorado, because I grew up in DC, when we moved out here, the movers stole my guitar.
What?
Yeah, because we put the guitar in the truck, and when the truck arrived, there was no guitar.
Oh, man.
We weren't very well off, so it's not like I can just go, especially at 16, I couldn't just like go out and buy a new guitar.
Oh, that's awful.
And so I just ended up stopped playing. But
that's a heartbreaking situation.
I was always jealous of musicians that talent. Like my favorite guitarist is Buckethead.
He's pretty amazing.
I've seen him live in concert like 15 times. I have a video on my channel. If you go to my channel, I have a video. I recorded his entire concert at the Gothic in like probably 2015 or something like that.
He's insane.
And yeah, that was crazy. But you can watch the entire concert.
That's so cool. He was in Guns N' Roses for a minute. He's also, I believe he can play a fretless guitar, which is one of the most insane things I can possibly imagine.
He's also one of the only guitarists that have a guitar that has a flash button, like a DJ flash button, so it cuts the sound out.
Yes, so a kill switch for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the kill switch. So I've seen him, like if you watch, I think it's Jordan, his song Jordan. He'll be strucking and playing with this hand and just tapping that flash button, but not strumming the guitar.
Right.
And just be cutting the sound in and out while he's hitting notes. And when he's at live, because his guitar is on a stretchy band, So he'll play the guitar and he can push the guitar off, right? He'll go to the front of the stage and push the guitar down and let the fans hit the button. And then he'll just improv things based off of how fast they're hitting the button.
That's insane.
And he'll just invent songs with the fans. Like
he's that kind of musician where it's just me. I got this thing. I could play songs like this.
Oh, what is that?
Thank you.
What is that called? What is that instrument called?
This is I think we called it the golden egg, but it is just a drum. It's just a steel drum. I think it's like $12. You could get it on Instagram if you had an Instagram account. But it's fun to play.
Well, I can play the microphone with my sexy sultry voice.
There you go.
And I can play a bottle of whiskey and a soda, but that's about it. I can't play anything else.
Well, it'll go lower in pitch if you blow across the top. That is an amazing story about Buckethead. That guy is one incredible musician. If you don't know who he is, Google it. You'll be amazed. You'll say, why is he wearing a bucket on his head? Oh, his name is Buckethead.
Yeah, and then you'll get past the fact that he's wearing a Michael Myers mask and a bucket, KFC bucket.
Yeah.
And you'll watch his fingers. They're like spider fingers, and he can move his pinky independent of the rest of his hand. So he hits chords that other guitarists can't hit because he's got these long piano fingers, kind of like mine, and he can get like a third of all of the frets.
Yeah.
With 2 fingers.
It's kind of nutty.
Yeah, if you are interested, look up Soothsayer, and Jordan. Yeah, he also worked a lot with Serge from
System of a Down.
Yeah, Serge. He had sent a message to Serge asking if he'd do a song on his album called "Enter the Chicken," and yeah, he's a bit crazy. He also works a lot with Primus.
Primus is great.
But
I feel like Les Claypool, the lead bass player in Primus and singer. I feel like he's got a different project for the days of the year.
Well, and the drummer Brain also.
Yes,
because he works a lot with Buckethead. They actually have a band, or they have an album. They made a band together where it was Brain the drummer, Buckethead on guitars, and Les Claypool doing vocals and bass. And the band name is one of the greatest names of all time. It's called Colonel Claypool's Bucket of Bernie Brains.
They incorporated everybody's name in that one. That's always like when you're 12 and you come up with a band with your friends. You're like, what is the first letter of everyone's name?
Yeah. It was, and it's one of those albums where you could tell they were just kind of hanging out, and they just do music. I mean, Buckethead's been on 300 plus albums, either by a guitarist or his own.
That makes a lot of sense. He's that good.
Like, he did at least 4 or 5 albums with Viggo Mortensen. You know, Aragorn from Lord of the Rings.
Viggo Mortensen is a musician?
Yeah, but he wanted to do different stuff. So you can I have a couple of the albums, but he's noted on there as playing the wheelchair.
That doesn't make any sense.
He was tapping the spokes on one of the wheels of a wheelchair. So anyway, so they had an interview with Viggo where they asked him about Buckethead, and he got all excited. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's amazing!" Like he would sit down, and he wears the mask the whole time, like,
even in the studio.
Yeah, even in the studio. He'll do 16-hour sets, mask the whole time. There's like maybe 12 or 15 people that are close friends and family that know what he looks like.
Huh.
Except for one picture from an ad in a newspaper when he was 16. Other than that, there are no pictures of his face. And so then Vigo says, yeah, he'll sit on a couch and he'll just kind of mess around with the guitar and find something that sounds neat. And then we'll stand up and record it. And then sit back down and just play around and then stand up and record it again. And he's like, he'll knock an album out in a day.
Jen reminds us that he's like Manda. He's the Mandalorian of guitar players.
Yeah.
I was thinking about strange instruments. There's a band called Tool that everybody knows about. Tool. They play the shotgun on the album Undertow. They play the shotgun, and not only Sylvia Massey, she produced that album, and she came up with this idea that that they use a shotgun and shoot an upright piano. So on that album, they're literally in like a warehouse shooting an upright piano with a shotgun to the rhythm of the song. So like, so it's percussion, percussion instrument.
Yeah. Well, and that's the same thing with some of that albums that Viggo Mortensen put out.
Yeah.
Is that they have like weird. They're just trying stuff, basically.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I wonder what this sounds like.
It's all about creating sounds. I know that Nine Inch Nails these days, speaking of movie scorers, Nine Inch Nails do, because, what's his name? Aldous. I always forget the other guy's name. There's Trent Reznor, and then there's the guy that just got added to Nine Inch Nails in the last 10 years because they first worked together on The Social Network, because that was Trent Reznor's first like real big soundtrack that he was working on. And he had to work with the kind of, I guess he decided to work with this other guy. And Atticus, yes, Atticus Ross, that's it. And now, since then, they've done all of like David Fincher's films together. And it's funny because Trent Reznor had always been Nine Inch Nails since the 80s. He was one guy, basically Nine Inch Nails. And then in like 2012 or 2014, it was like Atticus Ross was added as an official member. So now they're a duo. So it was a solo act, essentially, as Nine Inch Nails, and now it's a duo. So they work together, and really the way they come up with songs is they'll just take a hammer or something and just record it hitting something, and then they just build off of all of the sounds that they made doing stuff like that. It's really cool and experimental.
Well, that's why I like watching the behind the scenes where they talk to with the sound effects guy on Star Wars, and he came up with the laser sounds because he was just walking around and was near one of the it was like the big electrical towers, and he was just hitting the wire with a tong, fork, and it was like I love stuff like you just like, oh, I wonder what that sounds like. Boing. Oh, that sounds like a laser.
It's amazing. Ben Burt, he's great. Trent Reznor and Ricky says Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross just did they did Soul with John Baptiste. John did all the jazz, and the duo did all the Spirit Realm stuff. That's cool. That's really cool.
All right, so I really want to see Soul. I haven't watched it yet. My girlfriend and the kids, they got to see it. But they watched it while I was working, so I didn't get to see it yet. But that's one of the movies I want to get to, quick.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that.
And Baptiste, I love Baptiste. Have you seen his interviews about him and how he joined the Late Show?
Late Show? I haven't, but I as a musician, when I see that guy, he's like possessed. He's got music in him. It's just like he communicates through music. He's quite a musician.
That dude probably bleeds notes.
Yeah.
Like if he gets cut, like little notes fall out.
Yeah, if you hit him with a pillow, just musical feathers fly around.
Well, and he's got that like very much of a jazz smooth.
Yes.
Like the way that he talks, the way he moves, like when he'll do an interview, he'll like do this kind of sort swagger with his head, you know, and he's just got this. It's like smooth, sultry. It's like, oh, it's all good, baby.
Well, he's very like down south, New Orleans. I believe he is from New Orleans.
Yeah, he is.
So he's got that in him.
You should look up the interview that he did because, oh my God, what's his name? Late Show host. What's the guy?
Stephen Colbert.
Thank you, Colbert. You know, asked him to come to the show. He wanted him.
Yeah.
He said he would only think about it if Colbert went and had dinner with his family. Huh. And Colbert was like, so he has to come to Louisiana. He's got to come to New Orleans and have dinner with my family. Mm-hmm. And then, so Colbert was like, all right, I'll do that, but can I bring a camera crew? And so they have this whole video of Baptiste taking Colbert and showing him around Louisiana. But that was his deciding factor. He's like, I'll only do your show if you come and visit me in New Orleans.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I love the flavor that he brings. He's so good. He brings lots of flavor. Yeah, John Baptiste. If you guys don't know who that guy is, check him out. He's very groovy. He does an amazing cover of "What a Wonderful World." If you guys haven't seen that yet, YouTube that right after this show.
And one of his main instruments, like he plays a lot of stuff. He mostly plays the piano, you know, but he's one of those artists that I'm jealous of that can like play anything.
Yeah.
He just has to mess with it for a little bit and then he'll know how to play it. Just like the guy that did the music for Mando. The sound that he got because he just decided to buy a box of recorders, plastic recorders.
Yes.
Of different sizes.
So cool.
And then just messed with it and created a song that's now famous. But John Baptiste, one of his main instruments is that piano flute thing.
Oh, that's right.
You like blow into it and play it like a piano. And I'm like, that is the weird, like one of the most weirdest instruments to be famous for playing, you know.
Well, you got to find a niche, you know. Yeah. Me, I got the golden egg. That's my thing.
I guess I got the bottle of whiskey and the sexy sultry voice.
Just hit the whiskey with a fork and see if it sounds like a laser. You know, I was thinking about the recorder situation, which I found to be amazing. I didn't know they made bass recorders, and Ludwig Göransson had an entire like.
Whenever I have seen a recorder, it's the one that's like this long.
Yeah.
You play like that. I didn't know they made like bassoon version of recorders.
They've got gigantic recorders, turns out. But it makes sense. I mean, why not have that timbre in a different register? Yeah, Göransson is great as far as film soundtracks. I was watching this video yesterday. This guy does these really great videos. His name's Charles Cornell. He started out doing all of those musical interpretations of people talking. So he'll just like play the music like a jazz version of the melody of what they're saying. So it's like say like Cardi B when she's like coronavirus. He's like he'll play the music for it. So it's pretty cool. So now he does these videos where he kind of breaks down why songs are great and why certain musicians are great. And he did a video, it's about a year old, I guess, but on John Williams and why John Williams is great. And I totally agree with him. What I think makes John Williams great is the fact that you can sing like every melody. They stick with you, like the Superman's, like Superman, da-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, Superman. Like you can hear, I don't know. Like I always
Dude,
apply the
Star Wars,
Yeah.
Superman, Indiana Jones, E.T.,
E.T.'s the
Harry
greatest.
Potter.
Yeah.
Like the dude has
Jaws.
Jaws.
Close Encounters
That's
of the Third Kind. Jurassic Park.
I mean, yeah.
It just keeps
Like,
going.
It's like every major movie of your childhood
Every
probably
memorable,
has been touched by John Williams.
It's so
Or Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman is really good. I just feel like Danny Elfman, like
He's very specific.
He's specific. You always kind of want to get like a little bit of off kilter vibe with Danny Elfman. You always want that like sort of kind of a strange angle Danny Elfman will bring. Like what John Williams brings, sort of these themes. He weaves themes into his music in such a way that I really redefined the whole idea of Star Wars. I know that it has been defined as this before, but Star Wars truly is a space opera. Like you can put the soundtrack on and just listen to the soundtrack and it tells the story, like through the music. So
dude, I used to listen. I used to have the album. I got it somewhere. Got the CD for Phantom Menace, because like the what was it? The Fates.
Duel of Fates.
Duel of Fates. Like I could see the entire lightsaber battle in my head while I'm hearing the song.
Mm-hmm. It's Pagliacci.
And I would get
lightsabers.
And I would get goosebumps.
Yep.
I'd be in the car listening to the Duel of Fates, and I'd be getting goosebumps and seeing the lightsaber battle with Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Like, especially that iconic opening scene where the doors open, and he shows lights the lightsaber, and then the other side comes out, and you're like, what? That blew everybody's mind.
You know, love it or hate it, The Phantom Menace does have iconic moments. It does have some iconic music. I hate it, but I do recognize, I do pay respects to George Lucas's ideas in that movie and John Williams' ideas. I think also, what a missed opportunity it was for them not to go with Colin Trevorrow's script for Episode 9, Duel of Fates, which was his title for the movie, and revisiting that theme even would have been amazing to sort of bookend the nonology.
Well, there are things. This is what's weird. So the original trilogy, awesome. It's got its flaws here or there, whatever. Some people say the Ewoks are silly. I still like them. Plus, it gave us Warwick Davis, and Willow is one of my favorite movies.
That's great. They're making a series.
What?
Making a Disney Plus series for Willow.
No.
Well, they bought Lucasfilm, and they're like, how much money can we make?
Oh, I also... Sorry, another sidetrack, but I also heard that Joss Whedon was redoing Buffy, but he might remake Firefly.
Remake it?
The show. Like, restart the show with a new cast, but make Firefly, because Disney owns Fox now.
Oh, right. That's right. Those properties.
Yeah, they own Firefly. I didn't hear about Willow, though. Oh, yeah. You just got me super excited. I got to go tell my girlfriend.
How cool is that? Yeah, it's good. It's great because Warwick Davis is going to be in it. Will they have Mad Mardigan, though? Escape from
Probably not. He has been... Val Kilmer has been ill. He's had cancer. But I did hear that he's going to do a cameo in the Flash movie as... the Val Kilmer Batman.
Oh, that's cool.
That's for the Flashpoint storyline.
Yeah, he's been. It's interesting. I know that he is struggling with illness but he has been from everything I read. He's kind of like the most positive guy about it. Like everybody around him is kind of like sad for him. He's like, nope. He's like he's the life of the party, even though he's struggling.
Yeah.
Escape from Post says Spielberg said it best, without John Williams, bikes don't really fly, nor do brooms in Quidditch matches, nor do men in red capes. There is no force. Dinosaurs don't walk the earth. 100%. Like, you see that in your head. You hear the music when you see a dinosaur walk for the first time. You hear the music.
Well, in the behind the scenes for Phantom Menace, George Lucas, they were watching the effect scenes from the pod race, and he's like, okay, this looks great, and then he said, but you know what? No one's gonna be watching the effects; they're gonna be listening to the music.
That's true. Yes.
Like, the effects are great, but if John Williams doesn't pull out a good score, no one's gonna care.
I think about that when I'm watching the crate battle scene in episode 8. I like that battle scene. It feels like this big third act in that movie. I like that movie, but the crate battle, there was something about it. There was something that enhanced it. It was the music, and it was also I saw it in 4DX when I saw it the 8th time. And I saw it. So when my chair was like doing this, when they're like they're got the little skiffs, or they've got the ski in the dust, the stabilizer, like that actually truly enhanced that whole scene, the music and this vibrating effect. Escape from Post says Joss is not coming back.
No.
Good news is Val is in Top Gun 2. That's awesome. That was supposed to come out this year, right? Or last year?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, well, they're filming it now.
Are they reshooting it, or are they done?
No, it's a sequel. I think they're almost done, but I think they're in the middle of principal photography at the moment.
Okay.
Because they had that
trailer came out.
They had a story come out where Tom Cruise like laid into some people that weren't following the COVID rules, and like it almost like the Christian Bale going off on the lighting guy or whatnot.
You guys are standing too close to each other.
Yeah, but Tom Cruise, and the thing is, he makes a lot of good points. Like, you got to follow these rules because otherwise the production gets shut down.
Yeah.
Like, what you're doing right now could cost the entire production. Like, all of these people have jobs, they're working, and you're sacrificing that by not following the rules. We can get shut down for it. The thing is, he was a little, well, I would say he was a lot angry.
Yeah. I definitely had some schadenfreude about that, because I'm like, you know what? It's true. Everything he says is true, but he didn't have to say it for that long.
And in that way.
In that way, yeah.
Like a good manager of any business, doesn't matter what business you're in. A good manager is someone that comes over and talks to you.
Yep.
You're like, okay, what happened? Give me your side of the story.
Yep.
This is the actual what needs to be done. Let's fix the problem.
Yeah.
But let's work on it.
Yeah.
You don't walk over to your employee and be like, "What you?"
Just start.
You're not gonna
losing your mind, and berating them.
But I can't understand, like, especially if you're like super stressed. You probably he's probably got producers breathing down his neck. The companies that are like giving him a lot of shit. He's probably getting a lot of shit from his end, and then he took it out on those people.
Out the other end.
That's wrong. You shouldn't take it out on your employees.
No. That's the thing, is like I definitely felt I was sympathetic to both sides. I was like, I feel like he's saying what needs to be said, and I understand that, like, and when you're on a Tom Cruise set, he's producing the movie. He's the producer. He's the head honcho. He's the guy. He's on all the posters. He's selling the movie. He's literally the guy. He's your boss, even though you're on set with him.
He's not your boss. He's your boss's boss's boss.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole studio's riding on this guy's shoulders. So I understand the pressure he feels, and I mean, he made really good points, and It was just, yeah, he could have done it in a, you know, I don't want to say more effective way. He could have done it in a different way, but I feel like it was effective. I feel like anybody who heard that was like, oh, well, he's kind of angry and upset, and it's a little out of line, but it's true, though. It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not, yeah, exactly. It's like, well, the stuff you're saying is true, but maybe the delivery of it wasn't the best.
This is crazy. Escape from Post says, that was on the set of Mission Impossible 7 and 8. I guess are they shooting them both at the same time?
Oh, that's right. That is for the new Mission Impossibles.
And now they got robot reinforcements for on-set supervision. Robots, Terminators.
What?
You're standing too close.
You know what?
I'm going to.
Have you ever seen the Walmart? Have you seen the Walmart robot that scans? Have you seen that?
No.
At Walmart, they've got these mobile robots that automatically just wander all of the aisles, and they're scanning RFI codes so that they can send a message to the back room of, you know, hey, we need to fill, you know, this item on this aisle.
Huh. That's
so
crazy.
They have RFI codes on every item in the store.
Yeah.
And this little robot just walks around, and they put beady eyes on it with a smiley face, so it looks happy, and it just kind of wanders the store, and it makes a little noise. It's like we
are in the future.
But it's just kidding. So now I'm picturing these little bobble eye, painted face, weird smiley horror picture like robots wandering around the set of Mission Impossible, making sure people stay away from each other.
With like a taser.
Yeah.
Back up.
It'll just like
back up.
It'll wander up to you like all slow, like and then
I'm going to murder you. I'm in the cutlery aisle. I have a knife and a stabbing weapon. Say goodbye to your eyeballs.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Pew, pew, pew.
Don't give this thing a gun. I know that they have greeters at Walmart. I didn't know they had robots. Jen says they have annoying robots in our grocery store, which is funny. How annoying are they? Because I imagine a robot. So when they first showed the Masio or the Missio or the what was the robot that they came out with like 20 years ago? It's like the robot that has like, it can walk and it can dance, like, you know, the OG dancing robot.
Yeah.
They were saying how it could be like a helper robot in the future. And I was imagining how you could take advantage of these types of robots, because you could send them to the store to go buy you some stuff. You go to the store and go buy me XYZ. But I imagine that there was going to be some sort of advertisement opportunities. So you could be like, hey, robot, go to the store and buy me a Coca-Cola. And it could be like, don't you mean Pepsi?
Oh.
Or it would just pick up Pepsi and be like, they did not have Coke. I have no soul. I am lying.
Yeah, it's like when you go to one of the Pepsi restaurants, like Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, whatever, and you're like, can I get a Diet Coke? And they're like, is Diet Pepsi okay? And you're like, I feel a little disappointed, but okay.
Exactly.
But I'm totally like, I grew up on the East Coast, and like in DC, it's all Coke. Like, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
They call it Coke.
That's right.
Like out here in Colorado, I'm in Colorado, they call it either soda or pop. What do they call it in California?
Soda. They call it soda here. Yeah. I know in Texas they call it Coke. Everything's a Coke. Kind of Coke you want.
if you go to DC, it's all Coke.
And it makes sense because Coca-Cola, the company, owned like Sprite and Orange Crush. I don't know all the different sodas that they owned, but they owned like almost every. Yeah.
But you'd go to a restaurant, but you'd be a restaurant that's owned by Pepsi, because you have Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, KFC, A&W, like all of them are owned by Pepsi.
Right.
So you go in and you're like, can I get a Diet Coke? And they're like, is a Diet Pepsi all right? And you're like, whatever. Like I said, Diet Coke. I just want. Can I get a Coke?
Thirsty.
Yeah, just give me liquid that is brown and bubbly and will not give me too many calories. Can I have that one?
Make sure it's crisp. Make sure it's. Ange says in the South, she's in Louisiana. She's in Nolens. They call every Coca-Cola product a Coke. Jen said the robots scan for messes. They scan me. What the F?
Yeah, we've got those robots in the Walmarts around my town. Oh, this is kind of funny. You might find this a little interesting. So in Colorado, I live in a city called Longmont. Okay. My city is in Boulder County. So Boulder, the famous city in Colorado, the other famous city besides Denver, I'm in Boulder County. Boulder County will not allow Walmart to be in the county. So every time Walmart has been trying to build a store in Boulder County, they won't allow it.
Right. It's like a non-incorporated or something.
Yeah. There's one Walmart in Boulder, but it's been there for like 30 years and it's only a grocery store. It doesn't have anything else.
Right.
Yes. But because they've been there for so long, they let them stay. They haven't tried to kick them out. But every time Walmart tried to build something new in Boulder County, they are denied. Huh. So in Longmont, we are not only a part of Boulder County, but we're also a part of Weld County. Because the north part of our city, which is Highway 66 that goes to Estes Park, that's the end of Boulder County.
Right.
So if you're on this side of the road, it's Boulder. If you're on this side of the road, it's Weld. So Weld County has no problem with Walmart.
Yeah.
So there's a Walmart on Main Street and the Highway 66. But it's on the side of Weld County. Like literally they built it, within like the width of the street. They're like, okay, so the line is here, we built it. Then they built another Walmart that's even bigger.
Yeah.
On Weld County Road 1, which is down on the south part of our town. But that also is the first stop or the first step in Weld County. So there's two Walmarts in my city. They're technically in Longmont. But they had to be built on the other side of the road of the two.
Oh my God.
Of the two borderlines for the county.
That's so nutty. That's so funny. It reminds me of the El Paso situation, how parts of El Paso are in Mexico, but parts, like the town itself, like the border runs through the town. That's crazy.
Well, we had the same thing with weed shops. When weed first became legal, before it was like totally legal, before that, when it was just medical, we couldn't have a weed shop in our city if it was in a Boulder County incorporated. Like if you were a Longmont incorporated part of that city, you can't have a weed shop. It was illegal. But there is this spot. There's a couple of spots, but there was this one spot in the middle of town, like literally the middle of town, that was unincorporated and was never incorporated. And so the owners of the weed shop bought that land and built a weed shop in the middle of a town where it was illegal to have a weed shop. And no one could do anything about it because it was unincorporated land.
It was outside their purview.
Yeah, so even though the city made it illegal to have a weed shop, they're like, well, that's not part of the city, technically.
That's hilarious.
And it's right off a bridge. It's very janky. You feel like you're doing an actual drug deal if you ever go there.
That's funny. Yeah, I love little loopholes like that people find. It's very funny. I was in a town called Ozona, Texas, one time on a tour, and they were telling me. So we all got steaks at this little restaurant that we found off that's kind of almost a dirt road. I mean, this is part of Texas where you see scorpions and tarantulas in parking lots regularly. It was crazy. It was pretty cool. And then we're just eating our steaks. This is when I ate steaks. And then here comes not the butcher, but the chef. He came out the kitchen. He's got this big apron on, and he's got blood all over it. And he's like, "How you guys like them steaks?" We were just like, "Oh, they're good." and we were like, he's just started telling us where he got the steaks and how he cuts we get the steaks, we get the fresh steaks. You're in Ozona now, and this is an unincorporated town. We don't even have a Walmart. And it was the Walmart situation. And he's like, the closest Walmart's 100 miles. It takes about an hour when you're driving 100. And he's like, we still go. We're still going. But
yeah, we had a thing where so it's weird in my town because my city is its own city and it's got its own laws. But we're technically in Boulder County.
Yeah.
And so Boulder has their own city really weird laws, right? And they did one of those sugar tax laws. Where people couldn't,
like New York City,
where they couldn't have a soda over 16 ounces or something weird like that, but it was a tax on soda. So we have people that drive 15 minutes north of Boulder to come into our grocery store or Target, which is the first stop in town from Boulder, just to buy soda.
Yeah.
Like you'll see them. You're like, oh, we call them Boulderites. Like, oh, that's a Boulderite. They'll have like 8 12-pack cans of soda loading in their car like it's the apocalypse.
Jabby Go A says, you still going? Yep, we're still going. I've got to wrap up though, but yeah. This is, it's always great talking to you because we could just keep on talking about everything there is. We could talk about soda.
Yeah, and it's dude, fun. We end up just having conversations. We just go around. It's all good.
But yeah, Edge points out that the South, the South is the South. I love it. It's colorful. It's a colorful place. It's dangerous if you're in the wrong spot, but but it's fun.
But what were you saying? What were you saying about Jabby?
He was just commenting in the comments on YouTube, and he was like, you guys are so cool. Well, thanks, Jabby. You're cool.
Yep.
We'll have you on the show, too, sometime.
Hey, Jabby, if you're watching this, I wouldn't mind doing a live stream with you and just hanging out sometime if you have time. But Aristotle, I would love to do this again, man.
Yes.
Like, if you just have a day. But the thing is, it's got to be, like, between Monday and Wednesday.
No problem, because it's interview Tuesdays. That's what we do here on Aristotle Full Throttle. And if you watch him, please subscribe. Subscribe to his channel, Koricon Nala. Subscribe to this channel, like, share. Do all of the things. Turn on the notifications so that you can make sure that you catch every show 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We had such great, lively conversation. And, it's always good to catch up on Star Wars, the state of Star Wars. And the state of Star Wars is good.
Dude, we need to do one. If you're willing to have me on next Tuesday, we need to have an entire conversation about, like, what they're doing with Star Wars. Having the,
yes.
They're having all of these shows coming out. Like, they're going to have, like, 4... Isn't it like 4 Star Wars shows on Disney Plus coming out in the next year? You've got Obi-Wan.
I think they have like a half,
Boba
like
Fett,
a dozen.
Mando. And wasn't there? Oh, are they doing an Ahsoka show?
Yes.
Yeah, like you got 4 Star Wars shows, and if they're making it at the level of Mando, this will blow the recent 3 movies like out of the water.
I am excited for the current state of Star Wars. I think that the writing, the soul is back in the right place. I feel like the vibe is... They had some time to let it marinate. They didn't let it marinate for the sequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy, in my opinion, overall it's a failure. They failed.
It's a mess. They didn't plan it. It wasn't a planned trilogy. Like the Last Jedi was just kind of like dismissed everything from the first movie and just went on its own direction, and then the third movie had to correct what happened in the second movie.
It just shows that forethought in a trilogy situation is very important. You want to know where the story is going ultimately. But that's a whole conversation.
Yeah. Oh, we need to do this next week. Let's do this next week.
We do indeed. Thank you so much for being our guest today. You're great, Koricon, and we'll see you soon, guys. Appreciate you all for stopping by. Remember to, come back every day. All right, guys. See you guys later.
Thank you. See you guys.